Well, it's 8 o'clock. It's a Tuesday evening. It can only mean one thing. It's Super League Raw Weekly. Good evening, everybody. They're all flying in. Freddie McGilvey got his car sticker today. Well done, Uncle Freddie. Get it in the car. Send us a photo. With me tonight, as always, Steph Sale with us, the Lee Leopards, from the Lee Leopards. Joel with us as well. He'll be basking in his glory this evening. And as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Greg Nixon. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Are you well?
Absolutely buzzing for this one. There's certain nights where you're ready for a bit of rugby league. This is one of them. Right. Yes, he's okay, Greg. He's going to get to you, Greg. He's going to get to you. Don't worry about that. Good evening to everybody. Tony Pennington, yours is in the post, my friend. You should receive it very, very soon. Right, let's get straight into it. Loads to get through this evening. Some announcements on the way. Greg Roach, good evening to you, sir. The team of the week will be coming. Don't you worry about that. Hello to Craig Rigby as well. Right, let's get into some news that hot off the press. Darrell Alfords has gone to Wakefield Trinity today. I feel for Darrell. Not really been given much of a chance at Leeds. Not really given much of a chance by the Leeds faithful, Greg.
No, I don't. I quite agree with you. Although a good chance for him to resurrect his career, I think, or to get some first team rugby at least. I think after the results on over the weekend, Darrell probably thought he needed to strengthen in certain places. So I think probably quite good for both sides of both parties. I think really.
Absolutely, we wish Darrell well. Steph, announcements galore today. From your perspective, Brad Dwyer now game by game at the Lee Leopards. He's going to be remaining with you. You must be delighted with that.
Yeah, very, very pleased with that. I think Brad's been superb since he's come over to Lee, and I think it works again for both parties. Obviously, you've got Powell in front of him and Walker at Warrington, so just for him to get game time is great. But for Lee, it's, if we can keep him when we get a Pappy back as well, even better. They could be very dangerous, those two.
Yeah.
It would be a good interchange, mate. Joel, Fenton Rogers played for the London Broncos against Wigan, one of your lads. I don't know if you saw the game, but he stood up pretty well.
Yeah, he's a good player, Fenton. I expected him to have a good year this year anyway. He's a really big lad. You can't really tell just how big he is until you're next to him. So yeah, he's going to be a bit of a powerhouse for him. And when he's got a few more games under his belt, you'll start seeing what he's made of.
Absolutely. Les, we'll get there in a minute, my friend. Good evening to Dawn Baker, Super League Raw member, of course. Coming back round, Greg, Bullock as well to remain at Hull on a game-by-game basis. But the danger for Warrington, well, you've seen that with Matty Russell. Matty Russell picking up an injury.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that to happen to Bullock.
No, but it's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's good. I like Bullock. I think he's been quite unlucky, really. I think injuries have restricted his chances, and I think Sam Burgess is wanting him to get match fit before he can think about putting him back in the squad. But yeah, good for both parties again, because Hull are struggling with injuries, suspensions. So they got another one this week. So I think, yeah, good all round. Get Bullock back up for match fitness helps Hull out. Good move, I think.
Absolutely. Lee Partington has discovered what Steph has known for 2 years. You can't beat a better weekly. Tuesdays are no longer boring when Super League Raw Weekly's there. Set your alarms every week, 8 o'clock, and for you on the podcast, available from 7 a.m. for you to listen to on the way to work every Wednesday morning. Right, guys, as I say, lots to get through, so we'll keep going forward, and we can't ever have a Super League Raw Weekly without this little nugget. The Super League Raw Mini League, of course, the Fantasy League this week. The free competition leader, yeah, you can see him, Darren Chadwick, Warrington Wolves fan, 2,592 points now for Darren. He leads for the replica shirt at the end of the season. As for the members leader, that's still Ryan Birch. He's now top overall. Another good week for Ryan, 2,617 points for Ryan. However, Tony Pennington, also Super League Raw member. He's right on your heels there, Ryan. EA, don't you start getting those cheroots out and smoking them just yet, son. He's on his way. Tony Pennington, good effort. He's currently in pole position as second place runner-up. As a member, he also would win a replica shirt if he managed to stay there at the end of the season. More prizes coming for members on this competition this year. The best weekly score, guys, don't fall off your chair when you hear this one, 769. Up to third, Steve Morley. Steve, take a bow, son. Absolutely outstanding effort from him. Ryan can't win that. It's just
I'd like to thank Matty Pete for costing him several points this week.
Yes.
I think that's the first and only time we're going to see a leopard in third place this season.
Yeah, probably. I think for some reason, Ryan, you're on the wrong page, because that's definitely Ryan saying he needs the competition. He's just come up as a user, though. So, Ryan, if you're going to stay on whichever channel you're on, mate, make sure you put your name so I know it's you. Ryan Birch, as well, a member of Super League Raw, as we all know. Outstanding stuff. Right, okay. It'd be amiss of us not to take a look at the Challenge Cup draw. This was it, made last night. Some really good fixtures along this one. We'll get to them all, but first, let's go round the panel, starting with Steph. Lee Leopards, a home tie against Featherstone. With your injuries, I think fair to say you'll be pleased with this one.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm pleased we've got a home game. I think if it was at Featherstone, it would be a different story. I paid a massive compliments on the podcast, the Final Whistle podcast on Sunday. But that pitch would have been a massive leveler if we'd have drawn them away. We've had quite a few battles with Fev over the past quite a number of seasons in the Championship, and we're under no illusions they're going to be smelling blood when they come to us, given our recent form. So we won't be taking them lightly, I can guarantee that. But good tie for Fev as well to come over to us. I think they'll enjoy it. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, but with caution, I think, with this one.
Absolutely. Ryan, mate, can you just let us know which one you're on? That Ryan's now switched. I just want to get this down. Which one is it? Is it the official page of the Fans Forum? Let us know. Right, Joel, coming to you. Your beloved Huddersfield Giants. The good news, a home draw against Hull FC. The struggling Hull FC as well. Could have been worse, but could have been better.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I sometimes prefer away games. I feel like we do better away sometimes. When we're at home, we just take the foot off the gas a little bit. I'm hoping I'm going to be wrong this year. So I wouldn't mind a home or away fixture. Sorry to say it, Hull fans, but I'm glad we drew Hull. So.
It could have been worse. And speaking of could have been worse, Greg, Warrington Wolves will host London Broncos back-to-back games against Mike Eccles' men.
Yeah, I mean, that could very well benefit London as well, because they can take a look at us and see what they have to work on in between games. As all the other guys have said, could have been a hell of a lot worse, could have been a hell of a lot better. So, yeah, provided we take it seriously and we don't, turn up thinking we've already won the game, then hopefully we'll be in the draw for the next round.
Fantastic. Freddie McGilvery in agreement with Joel. It's a great time to play FC, or is it? Beware of the wounded animal, as they say. Callum Calvary saying he's going, Joel, and he's hoping to meet you, my friend. So yes, that'd be nice. Fellow members seeing each other. There he is. I'll be there, Joel. It will be good to meet you. Of course it will be. Right, let's get back to the actual draw. Obviously, the plum tie of the round. And I think all of us will be happy with this. Either Leeds Rhinos or St Helens will not be in the quarter-final no matter what. That's great news if you're not a Leeds or a Saints fan, isn't it?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Back-to-back games. Leeds against Saints.
Yeah, strange how that happens, isn't it?
Is it going to be the usual, though, gents? Whoever wins this week will lose the week after.
That's what worries me about London Warrington, to be honest.
You've got a fascination with London Warrington this year. Yeah, but, good. Look, no disrespect. I think a good tie for Wigan, Sheffield Eagles, good tie for Lee, a home game against Featherstone, Catalan Dragons, Halifax Panthers. I think Catalan will be relatively pleased with that. The one that, is interesting, and it is an interesting game, I think we've been through them all there, is the one Batley Bulldogs against Castleford Tigers. The way Cass are playing, I mean, we'll review this in full in a couple of weeks' time, gents, but quickly round the screen, Greg, can Batley create the big upset and be in the quarterfinals, yes or no?
I think that is the one. I think
so
that's the one with the upset, yeah.
That's a yes. Steph?
Yeah.
100%, and the most intriguing thing with this one is Lingard, obviously, with the former coach. So, if Batley wanting to, this is the definite one for an upset. But we'll see. I know Batley always go all in on the Challenge Cup, so they normally perform really well in it as well.
Fair play. Joel, yes or no? Batley upset Cass?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said,
hey, Andy and Sue's gone. That's it. They're not watching anymore.
more from, I think, it's just more that the players will want to play well against their old coach.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Right.
So you're sitting comfortably.
Anti-Reg.
Anti-Reg. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not in the chat at the moment. I'm doing other things, but we will get there. Hang on. Let's have a look at this. What's Greg said? Anyone who's not a member yet, please join Uncle Dave and Auntie Reggie for loads of great content and friendly fans banter. Well done, Greg. That's it. We do need people being a member, and there's big reasons why you should be a member. Boys, are you sitting comfortably? Are you sitting comfortably?
Yeah, yes.
Last week, we gave £25 of vouchers away for the club shop. This week, it's a biggie. Super League Raw, members only. You need to be a member from as little as £2.99 a month. You can be a member at Super League Raw. We're going to give away 2 Challenge Cup final tickets at Wembley for this year's Challenge Cup. That is what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a members competition only. We have said that members will get the lion's share of the prizes. That's right. So for as little as £2.99, Greg Roach has already given it a big plug. This is hot off the press tonight. Members competition. You can be at Wembley on the 8th of June. We will be doing the draw the weekend of the Challenge Cup semi-finals. So that when we do the show around the semi-finals, we will do the draw and a member will be going to the Challenge Cup final courtesy of Super League Raw. Gentlemen, Super League Raw just keeps getting bigger and better.
Fantastic.
Prize are amazing. This is what we've been plugging in terms of the membership, help us grow, that kind of thing. So that took me by surprise, that one. I don't think we'll need them this year, but they'll need not apply.
Absolutely. No. Well,
be honest, Steph, I don't think we will either.
And of course, it keeps getting bigger and better as well because everybody's invited to this. From May onwards, it will be exclusive for members. But to see what you're missing, we're going to invite everybody to the quiz night, 15th of April, a Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. an interactive quiz via Zoom. You'll be playing on your phone. There'll be leaderboards, there'll be prizes. Again, set your reminders. More to come on that as we get nearer to the time. But again, there will be prizes on the night. Quiz night, 15th of April. Do you know your rugby league, Joel?
I would like to think so.
Don't know where Reggie's gone.
Got rid of it for that one, hasn't it? He's embarrassed already.
It scared him off.
Reggie must have known I was going to ask him about the quiz, and he's decided to do one. So we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Oh, he's back. He's back. Here he comes. Go on. He's back. Right, marvelous. So yeah, lots there, and a lot of people in Craig Rigby saying that if you don't sign up for that, you're crazy. What an effort. You're right. From as little as £2.99. Everything that we do for you, the Tuesday night shows, the Final Whistle podcast. If you didn't listen to this week's, go on Apple, go on Spotify, go on Amazon, download it. Greg and Steph, joined by Lee Parkinson, discussed the round number 4 fixtures to the Hill. If that's where, if you want to listen to what we had to say as Super League Raw family about the round 4 fixtures, make sure you download that. You get Game of the Week. We've got USA Rugby League on YouTube saying it's a great show. Friends from the USA. We've got friends from Amsterdam on the show. It's just wonderful stuff.
International.
And Dawn Baker is already laying down the gauntlet, gentlemen. She is scrubbing up on her knowledge in terms of the Malibu. That's going to be outstanding. Right, okay, let's carry on. Great stuff this tonight. We're really looking forward to tonight's show. Right, first and foremost, it'd be remiss of us not to mention this again. Salford Red Devils, 44 years in the making. What a performance from Salford. Let's be fair, when Doddy goes in with that second try, 20 points to 6 at that point, it's game over. The resilience, the team effort, the togetherness, Salford Red Devils, Steph, you keep saying that you're the only one who picked them. But Paul Rowley, to a man, congratulations to Salford Red Devils.
100%.
Yeah.
Made up for Paul with this one. I think last season we did a lot of, we've made history. We've been a lot of record. We've been standing for a long time. So the Salford fan, great following by Salford as well on Friday night with their fans. So, it's one of those lovely stories what we get each week in rugby league, with those records that have been set in stone for so long being broken. Brilliant to see for the game, I think.
There's only one person that can go to wants to say this comment, Greg. Simplify.
What a player.
What a pass. I don't know if you saw in the sheds, but he actually practiced that about 2 play the balls before.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Amazing.
But, mate, he's something else. I think we mentioned it on the podcast that he is somebody who constantly flies under the radar, Tim Lafay, and he's a class act. He really is probably I don't apologise saying this, one of the best centres in Super League, but easily one of the best centres in Super League.
I said it was Jamie Lyon-esque, didn't I, Reggie? If
Yeah.
you remember on the
Yeah, you did.
Crazy indeed, that isn't it? So
one of the best signings from nowhere, because you've got to remember this guy wasn't playing NRL or Super League, he was plucked from nowhere. Rowley, I mean, I think when we did the In Conversation with Paul Rowley, he said probably one of his best finds ever. Similar,
he was retiring.
Sensational.
Retiring.
Yeah, he was retiring. Yeah. Good evening to Kobe McGilvray, the next Super League Raw member, I'm sure. Our Kobe, following in the footsteps of the great Mr. Freddie McGilvray, I'm sure. But yeah, Joel. I mean, look, it's great for the league. Look, Saints have been outstanding for 3 rounds. This isn't anti-Saints. I've been waxing lyrical over Saints for the first 3 rounds of the Super League. They played one. I mean, against you, second half they were unplayable. This type of result, it's great for the game. We don't want teams running away with it. We want competitive. It was wonderful, Joel, wasn't it?
It was, and I think when you see results like that, people like myself, and I'll put my hand up, you've got to take back everything that you've ever said. You know,
we've only got an hour, Joel, so don't start now.
But you know, they've proved themselves, which some of the clubs like us haven't done. So yeah.
Well, look at this here. Look at this here, our friend Carsten. Good evening, gents. Flew in from London on Saturday. I have to say the staff and the bar is way too slow for a German with first. I'm presuming that obviously must be London. They weren't expecting 4,000. Great crowd.
I've heard that they only open one bar in the away end.
Yeah, no, but it's and they'll get, and you can understand that, because I think they've got to get used to the fact that people are going to travel, and you know, they're going to get good crowds, and hopefully Wire follow suit this coming week.
Well, they have been following suit by opening just one bar.
And on that bombshell, let's go to Castleford. Castleford Tigers, I don't know if you saw Craig Lingard's post-match press conference. We featured it on the news yesterday. Very should it stay in the dressing room? I mean, is this going to backfire like it did for Darryl Powell at Warrington? He was very scathing about the attitude of the players in the dressing room at full time, questioning, did it hurt them and all. He did give great praise to Jacob Miller and to Joe Westman, quite frankly, the only two, as well as probably in his senior, that come out with any real credit.
Yeah.
But I'll, in the spirit of going around like I do every week, Joel, I'll start with you on this one. Will this bite Lingard?
Yeah, I'd say so, because me and Greg were actually stood next to each other at the game, and we both noticed the same thing. It was very vocal, Joe Westerman in front of us as the Giants fans with his players. You could tell that he was fuming. I can't repeat on this show exactly what he said, but he basically said it wasn't good enough what they're doing. And you could see half of them weren't even listening.
Well, we had that at Warrington last year, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I was just saying, so, you know, Lingard saying it out loud, I don't think is a bad thing, because it was seen. You know, the whole fan was...
He's telling the truth, but, you know, the best, I mean, not the best coaches, but, you know, I mean, the great coaches tend to keep that type of thing in-house, don't they? I think when they come out publicly, it can turn, and especially a rookie manager. And I will say that, you know, he is a rookie Super League manager. He is running the gauntlet, Greg, isn't he?
I think he is, and I think there's a time and a place to maybe give away some dressing room secrets, and I don't know whether after that particular game was a time and the place to do that. Not disagreeing with by any stretch of the imagination on this one. I just think, yes, there is a time and a place where maybe a manager with more experience, more games under his belt, more success, got to say that, would realise that probably that wasn't the time to air dirty laundry. You know, maybe give it a couple of days, give it some thought. He was angry, he was embarrassed, he was probably saying something for the fans. Maybe that wasn't the time to do it just after the final hooter.
Well,
you know, and I think it will come back and bite him.
Yeah, Kev Wall there saying that they just gave up. Dawn Baker, she's in the chat. He's only saying what everybody can see. Dawn, of course, a proud member. You're right, Dawn. It is. And, you know, just in the spirit of time, Steph, the yes or no, will that bite him?
Yes.
It will bite him. Fantastic. Like Jaws, it will bite him. Right, okay, no dramas. We move on to the next one. The Catalan Dragons will be having to pay for the travel of away teams in 2025. Greg, I'll start with you on this one. I've got an idea. All right, because obviously this is going to have great strain on Castleford. I mean, it doesn't really change things financially. But if we're going to take from Catalan with one hand, let's give back with another. I think when they do the fixtures next season, what they should do is they should have 2 games in England, then 2 games in France.
Yeah.
That's what I think they should do. And I think and again, one moment, the Rugby Football League, allow me to do a bit of marketing for you. What are the chances of the Catalan Dragons fans travelling to the UK if they could see 2 games while they were here? They'd probably make an holiday of it. They'd come the week before, watch the first game, go and do some sightseeing, watch the second game and fly home. It's better for the players in terms of injuries and all the rest of it. So, Greg, that's my idea. What do you think?
Yeah, not a bad idea. I also heard it was also part of a wider plan to bring Toulouse back as well and have a 14-team league. But
we need that.
That's not the question you asked. I think, when Castleford and Toulouse were in Super League, I discussed whether teams travelling over there should play Catalan one weekend, Toulouse the next, so they weren't travelling back and to cut the expenses down.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. I agree. Let them play. When Toronto were going to come up to Super League, they were going to play a whole bunch of games in this country. I think they're going to play all their away games first, and then all their away games in the second half of the season. I think that was the plan. So, I think that's quite a sensible idea, if I'm being honest.
Fantastic. Steph, are you in agreement with that, mate?
Yeah. It's one of those, and I'm 100% in favour of getting Toulouse back in.
Well, in the same spirit, Steph, if Toulouse did come back in, if Warrington should play Toulouse and Catalan back-to-back in France. Yeah,
and I think I know how much of a nightmare the fixtures are for the RFL, to work it out kind of thing. So to try and get every team to be able to do that will be a bit of a logistical nightmare. Because I know, for example, Lee have 6 games where they can't play at the LSV. And so that has to get factored into that mathematics. And there's other clubs who have other different things as well. But in an ideal world, 100%, that'd be, what a cost saving that would be from a fan's perspective to be able to go to Catalan and Toulouse in the same week, and do that. And you could get more families going then as well to make it an actual holiday for the week and with the added bonus, so.
I'm sorry for interrupting, guys, but Carsten makes a good point in that they could watch some championship and other games as well while they're over here.
Absolutely. There it is, Carsten. On he goes. Oh, hang on. 2 weeks in England. At least if you're smoking in a function. Okay, we'll leave that alone. But no, I mean, Joel. I mean, if Lee can't satisfy the fixtures, they can just lose the points, forfeit the game, can't they? We're not gonna worry too much about that. Would you agree? I mean, and here's one for you. The more people that actually wouldn't this be wonderful next year? An all expenses paid trip to Catalan as a prize. Whoa.
Get signed up.
The bigger we get,
I know.
I'll take them as an official Super League Raw representative.
Yeah, as a tour guide.
I can show you all the sites, no problem.
Joel, again, happy with the idea. Again, in the spirit of time, Joel, just a quick yes or no from you on this one.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well done. Said that with real conviction. Right, on to this one. Gary Schofield, we're starting with Steph this time. Gary Schofield, not impressed with the kicking situation at Hull KR, talked in his column in League Express about this at length. They did miss 2 kicks in the game. Warrington missed 4. So actually, when you factor it in, even with the goal kick misses, all things being equal, if the argument is had Hull KR kicked all their goals, the same argument goes for Warrington, it still probably wouldn't have affected the result. But this is a real problem for KR staff, isn't it?
It is, and the problem is the best kicker at the moment is Litton, isn't it? And he's an interchangeable hooker. So for half of the game, he's not on the pitch, which is always a problem. Your kicker should be an 80-minute player. Obviously, you don't never know when that's going to happen. So, yeah. But I don't know the answer to that other than signing. So I know I've just read that.
There you go, like a government fact-finding mission. Steve Cartledge is saying Steph can swing anything. You're quite right. Steve Cartledge, another Super League Raw member. Good evening to you, Steve. Joel, Gary Schofield kicking. Could this bite KR over the course of the season unless they get it sorted out quickly?
Absolutely, because they haven't got anybody who does it.
Yeah.
The start of the season with Peter Hickey, and well, we're not going to talk about the first game, are we? But blinking heck, that they haven't got a cat and else chance, really, have they? When you look at them kind of performances, and that's what's bit them quite hard with some games.
Absolutely. And Greg, finally from yourself, KR. I mean, in fact, Greg, should we be giving the goal kickers a little bit of leeway at the minute? I mean, here's a stat for you guys. You won't know this, but there was 20 missed kicks this weekend compared to an average of 10 around last year. There's a stat for you. Now, do we factor in the pitches? Because to be a goal kicker, especially on the sidelines, with the pitch at KR, the pitch at Catalan this weekend, etc., should we be giving them a bit of a break and maybe reserve judgment for a bit later in the season?
I don't know. These are professional rugby league players, mate. They've trained all winter in similar conditions. It's not like, we've had the wettest February on record. We've had one of the wettest winters on record. They've been training in this weather with, they've not been training on pitches. They've been playing on cabbage patch fields and some parts of the training process. So I don't know. I really don't know about that. I think, these are professional rugby league players. I think probably Warrington is. Stefan Ratchford is their best kicker and wasn't on the park. And as you say, Jez Litton is an interchange hooker, and Peter Hickey couldn't hit a barn door from 5 yards.
He couldn't know. And Karsten in the chat, hey, a super chatter. Don't know what that means. It's something on YouTube. Well done to Karsten. He's a super chatter now on YouTube. There's another opportunity. Become a super chatter for more shout outs. But he's talking about goal kickers there. NRL have 1 or 2 90% goal kickers. I mean, it's always been. Absolutely, and Mike Ward deserves this one. Sneed quality bucks the trend. 17 from 17, Mr. Mark Sneed.
Exactly. The pitches haven't bothered Mark Sneed.
No, they haven't. But anyway, just thought we'd as we go up against Gary every single week, I thought I'd have a bit of sport with Gary, since it was an half decent comment he made this week. Right, who are we up to? I think it's Joel this time, isn't it? Joel, I don't know if you saw this. Williams on Dufty says that Dufty is up there with the best. This is quite a statement when you consider Jai Field, Jack Wellesby in the league. Do you think he's getting a bit ahead of himself, or do you think actually Dufty is showing promise to that extent?
He's excellent, but I think you've got to ask yourself, what realm is he talking about? That are we talking greatest of all times? Are we talking?
I think he thinks in the league at this moment.
I was going to say, because if that was the case, he's nowhere near. He's not even in the conversation, but he's a very good player.
You mean for all time?
Of all time, he's not even in the
forget
conversation.
That. In Super League at the moment, is this still a bold statement, do you think?
I think it's a bit bold, yeah. There's a lot of players that are better. Yeah.
Jake Connor?
Greg,
over to you.
I think if he could catch a high ball, and if he could position him, and if he improved his positioning when they're in defence, I think, no doubt he's got speed, he's got class attacking. That try for Wrench was swift thinking, swift feet, swift thinking. I think for him to be considered amongst the best in Super League, for a fullback, he has to sort out his performance under a high ball and his defensive positioning. For me, put him in at number 6, and it's a different matter.
Well, he's behind Jack Wellesby and Jai Field anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's never going to get 6, not with Leon Hayes and George.
No, exactly.
This weekend, maybe. Karsten back in the chat there, Steph, saying Dufty versus Hickey, battle of the worst defensive fullbacks. I think that's a bit steep. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say Dufty is that bad it's part of his game he's got to work on, but I think that's a bit strong, don't you think?
I think it's very harsh. I think name 2 fullbacks in Super League who's been man at match this year.
Oh, look at Stefan, he's backs.
You know, so I think the difference with Dufty this year is Burgess has got him playing completely different. Look at his meters that he made. Was he over 200 against OKR?
Yeah.
So, you know,
for the last 2 rounds, he has been top meter maker.
So name another fullback that's doing that as well. So for me, if he's on about recent performance, then Dufty's probably outperforming most fullbacks in Super League, including Wellesmere and including Field at the moment.
Yeah, great shout. I'll tell you what, because we roll with the punches here at Super League Raw, let's check out the top performers around number 4.
Here are your top performers from round number 4 in the Betfred Super League. Each with 2 tries this week were Lee Kershaw, Ash Hanley, Dion Cross, Ennis Senior, Leroy Cudjoe, Sam Halsall, Lewis Dodd, Harvey Hill and Adam Swift, all with 2. The most try assists in round 4 goes to Tui Lollahea on the Huddersfield Giants with 3 against the Castleford Tigers. On 2 apiece were Brodie Croft, Johnny Lomax, Lachlan Lamb, Matt Dufty and Jake Connor. The top meter maker for the second week in a row was Matt Dufty of the Warrington Wolves with 239. He was followed by Mikey Lewis with 204, Ash Hanley 185, and that man again, Sam Halsall with 174. The top tackle buster was also Matt Dufty with 15. Jai Field got 13, Lockie Miller 10, Harvey Hill 8, and Ryan Hampshire 8. The most clean breaks were Tom Johnston, Sam Halsall, and Dion Cross, each with 3. The most off those, also with 3, went to Oliver Gildart, Jake Connor and Paul Momorowski of the Leeds Rhinos. The top hard meter makers in Super League for round 4, you have to be a prop second row loose forward in this one, and it goes to Tom Amone with 163, Julien Busquet with 136, then it's Paul Vaughan with 134, and finally Michelangeleski with 133. The top tacklers in round 4 were James Batchelor of Hull KR with 54, then Danny Houghton with 47, Elliot Minchella with 46, Frankie Holton 45, and Leroy Cudjoe with 42. And finally, the top goal kicker in round 4 was Adam Kieran of the Wigan Warriors with 10, then it was Oliver Bussell with 7, and Mark Sneed with 4. Ladies and gentlemen, those were your top performers from round number 4 in the Betfred Super League.
So there you go, the top performers. Dufty did well in that lot, it has to be said. Super League Raw membership now open if you've just joined us late. Yes, members, get this one. 2 tickets to the Challenge Cup final up for grabs and a random prize draw just before the semi-finals. Become a member for as little as £2.99 and you could be going to the Challenge Cup courtesy of Super League Raw. Patreon.com, Super League Raw. Join up after the show. Right, guys, great stats there. Joel, Sam Halsall was all over those stats. You know, we were expecting Elliot Wallace against Casford. He played well for you, mate.
Yeah, they always say one man's misfortune is always another man's fortune, that's for certain. Elliot Wallace had a bit of an injury, so Sam got his chance and he took it. He ran with it, quite literally.
Literally, absolutely.
With the meters he made.
He didn't stop running.
Yeah, but that makes the nice kind of headaches for a coach that you want. And he played really well that night. I've actually never seen so much claret and gold in them stats, so that's good.
Mate, he's certainly a better headache than what Adrian Lamb's got. I'm telling you now. Speaking of paracetamol, dear God, he's on quite a lot at the moment by all accounts. Anyway, Emma, the match review panel chat. So just a quick one. Wanted to touch on it, if I may. Ashworth, 3 batches for what could only be described as I don't care what anybody says, no player intentionally goes to hit somebody else's head with their own head. That'd be quite foolish. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's a bit of a nonsense, quite frankly.
You remember Gareth Locke, don't you?
Well, yeah, I do, yeah. I think for me, it's a bit of a nonsense. But what I want to do, let's compare and contrast these 2 incidents for a moment, just for a quick chat for a couple of minutes. Here we go.
Production potentially in the background, but fantastic play from Salford. They just couldn't make the most of it. It's great defence from Mark Percival on the end. A solid read on a big man in Jack Ormonroyd. It's a big tackle from Mark Percival. Shorrocks throws it. Ormonroyd, bang. Now it's just whether there's any contact. when we have a look at that again, is there any contact with the head?
He seemed to drop the ball, didn't he?
Well, he did drop the ball from the contact from Mark Percival. The question is where that contact is.
Well, this is a big call here. Marcus Griffiths, the video referee, has had a word. And that's a red card. Another big hit. Ashworth on Satai.
Let's have a look at it here. Well,
is it another controversial call?
So there you go. Two different type of incidents there. We put it out as a poll, and surprisingly, I said, did Percival deserve 3 if Ashworth got 3? And the poll actually has come back no. The Super League Raw Fans Forum felt that 2 matches was right for Percival. Quickly going around the screen, which was the worst of the 2 incidents? And should Percival have had 3? Over to you, Steph.
Percival's was the worst. The ball had gone. He didn't attempt to wrap his arms. It was a clear shoulder to the head. I think that's even last season. I think he'd have been banned for that. But I think 2 games is fair. The Ashworth one, I think it's ridiculous. I think to get 3 games for that is scandalous. He's trying to make a tackle. He wraps his arms, and in rugby league, people stand upright and tackle. That's the way it is, and because of that, naturally, unfortunately, occasionally there is a head contact with it, and for him to get 3 games for that, I think is scandalous. If that's a league player, I'm spewing.
Well, it'll benefit you this weekend. But as the old saying go, who needs a sentence when a paragraph will do? Joel, over to you, my friend. What's your thoughts on that?
You're in one tonight, you are, Dave.
I know. That was good feet.
I love him, really. Go on, Joel.
Yeah, I agree totally with Steph on that one.
That's it. Well done, Joel.
Well done, Joel. Go on, Joel. You agree with Steph? Anything further to add?
Yeah, you look at. I watched this over and over. Jack at no point looked at Chris. So there was no intentions there, and like you said earlier, who in the right mind, who's got any brain cells rubbed together, would want to headbutt Chris Satai? That'd be a bit stupid.
Satai come in for some rough rides. SA put a big hit on him just before that. Don't know who you are. Facebook user, you need to be on our official page for us to know who you are. But by all accounts, Ashworth has been successful and it's been downgraded to 2 games, which means that Matt Percival will be getting off with just a fine. Okay. How many jokes?
Well, I might say now.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on, Greg.
No matter what the challenge, as far as I'm concerned, there's no way that a yellow card gets a longer ban than a red card. And that's why we need to bring a point system in.
Oh, yeah. This week,
get rid of the
Brian Carney stealing your thunder, mate.
I know Brian Carney. He must be a fan of the show.
Must have been.
For me,
he's saying that for years.
The RFL point system gets rid of the controversy around the disciplinary panel, stops any allegations of cheating or brown envelopes. It also saves them a hell of a lot of money in wages.
Don't talk to me about. Mate, don't talk to me about dodgy stuff after John Wellesley's comment in that Huddersfield game. Just don't go there with me. I was livid. Go and watch In the Sheds. Go and watch In the Sheds on that. I'm not going there.
I've never seen you so angry.
I was livid, mate, to the point where even Steph said dribble was there and everything. It was like comic effects and everything. I'd gone. I'd lost it. Totally lost it. Hey, just go to Unlike the Princess of Wales, I do not edit. Anyway, there you go.
It's a meme going around that now, I think. Getting down with the kids.
So it should be, but no, absolutely agree. And could I just say in dispatches before we finish this part of the show and we move on, Mike Eccles' press conferences. Guys, if you've not listened to Mike Eccles in a press conference, do yourself a favour. It is a treat. This man, for me, I'm loving Mike Eccles. Go and watch his comment after the Wigan game. It was genius. And I quote, and if this wasn't, I didn't check before the show if this was quote of the week in League Express, but if it wasn't, oh dearie me, because it deserved to be. He said, and I quote, when I find it, they have more spending power than us, so they are going to have better cattle. Brilliant. What a great line. They're going to have better cattle. Mike Eccles, Sir Steph, have a word. He needs to be on in conversation.
All I'll say on that is he's a Lee lad. So,
mate, it was comedy. Mate,
never mind in conversation. Get him on the show.
Mate, comedy Yeah, as well.
We'll
Comedy gold. Right. Okay. As we do every week, to bring an end to the merriment of round 4, players in the match. Who gets the points? Right. Let's have a bit of fun here now, boys. Right. We'll start with the Warrington game. Everybody agrees. Man of Steel, Albert Goldthorpe, and the Super League Raw. 3 for Matt Duffy. We all agree. 2 for Mikey Lewis. No arguments there. Then we have a little bit of a difference in it. I think. Yes, we do. I've changed mine there. I give it to May, didn't I? I give 1 point to Tyrone May. I thought May was really, really good. As did the Albert Goldthorpe. Harrison got a point, Greg. He was solid. He was strong, but
not so much of a problem with that. He wasn't spectacular, but he was solid.
He wasn't top
right. May was deserved a point.
Everything.
But, he was solid. He wasn't spectacular. I thought Fitzgibbon was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah,
more so than Harrison.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to give Harrison a point. You're going to give Fitzgibbon 2.
Right, here comes the fun now. Let's go to Castleford Huddersfield, shall we? So, Super League Raw, 3 for Cudjoe. Albert Goldthorpe, 3 for Cudjoe. 3 for Clune, goes Man of Steel. Joel, you're the resident giant. Happy with that?
For Leroy, yeah.
Yeah, Clune, 3, no?
No, I'd give him 2, but not 3.
Okay, well, speaking, right, 2 points. Super League Raw, Whole Soul, sensational. Albert Goldthorpe, 2 points for Whole Soul. Man of Steel, Jake Connor. Joe?
He had a good game.
Had a good game. Was he top 3 players in the game?
No. But,
okay.
No.
All right, here we go. It is Friday. I don't know what I've done here. I've cocked this up. Right, Super League Raw. We gave 1 to Toy Lollahea. Albert Goldthorpe gave 1 to Yates. Bit sentimental. Had a good game on his comeback. I know what you're thinking, guys. Man of Steel. Surely 1 point for Clevoy Cudjoe. Has to be. Cudjoe was immense. No, 1 for Whole Soul. Cudjoe didn't even get a single Man of Steel point. Can you believe that?
Crazy. Best player by a mile.
By a mile.
I think the loss of Tompkins has scrambled the brains.
Can I just say, right, for a player who, when he started his career, started at centre, he's moved around nearly every position. He went to loose forward, and then during the game, because he was that good, he went back into centre on his own to score a try, and then went back to loose forward again. Yeah. If that doesn't give you a point, there's something wrong.
Right, he's class. Alex Sharp is with us, the latest Super League Raw member. Alex, it's great to have you with us this evening. Right, we've got to move on. We've got to keep going. St. Helens against the Leeds Rhinos. Super League Raw 3.
Oh,
sorry. Salford. Yeah, Salford against St. Helens. I'm all over the place here.
Selling stuff.
Yeah, I've done. Oh, what have I done here? Right, we'll go St. Helens Leeds. We gave 3 for Martin.
Salford.
Yeah, you with me. Salford against Saints. Salford against Saints.
You're promoting that red wine, Dave. There.
3 for Martin. 3 for Martin from Super League Raw. 3 for Martin Albert Goldthorpe. 3 for Ash Handley, Man of Steel.
Which game are we talking about now?
Leeds. This is the least. Well, I hope it's the least.
Right.
Handy 3 points.
Well, Sky give it to him as well, and
all he did was put the ball over the line.
Exactly. I don't agree with that. I think the fullback for Leeds. What's his blooming name?
Yeah,
we said it on the Final Whistle podcast, didn't we?
Come on, Dave. You always know these.
Sorry. I'm looking at stuff. Go on. What are you saying?
The Leeds fullback.
Leeds fullback was Lockie Miller.
Miller was my 3-pointer.
He was your 3-pointer. Okay, so let's get to the 2-pointers. Super League Raw, Brodie Croft team. The Albert Goldthorpe, Tom and Moan 2. And the Man of Steel Moylan 2. I know that you'll be happy with Moylan because you know he had a decent game again. Amone though, I mean, look, we're massive fans of Amone. Massive.
He was top meter maker again this week, wasn't he? Hard meters, was it?
Yeah.
First time this season. Don't know if that counts for anything.
Alex Sharp's giving me a bit of grief. Yes, he did do some of the most meters, my friend. He was outstanding coming out of backfield, but I'm sorry, Reece Martin was a lot.
Reece Martin should have figured that somewhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot better
Yes.
than him. Then we go to the 1 points, Super League Raw, one for Mr. Hanley. I thought, as a debut at home, I thought Hanley was brilliant and fully deserving of that. The Albert Goldthorpe went one for Miller, and the Man of Steel went one for Hanley. So no real issues with the 1 pointers, would we say?
No, and Hanley had a great debut there.
Yes, he did.
Really, really, really good debut. Worth the mention.
Right, let's move to the St. Helens game. We'll get there eventually. St. Helens, Salford. Sneed. Well, actually, no, let's start with Super League Raw. We gave 3 to the mighty Tim Lafai. However, both the Man of Steel and Albert Goldthorpe went with Sneed. I've got no issue with that. But we went with Lafai because I thought Lafai was just colossal. Not just his pass, but colossal. Him and McDonald, outstanding. Right, the 2 points. We went with Sneed. Got to recognise the fact that Sneed was quality. The Albert Goldthorpe went 2 for Dion Cross, and the Man of Steel went 2 for Tim Lafai. Okay, no issues. And we all went 1 point for Lewis Dodd in defeat. I thought Doddy did have another solid game for St. Helens. That's his second week in a row. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Doing well. Playing well this season, Dodd. Definitely. Proving a few doubters wrong.
He's growing into the role now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Greg Roach asking if the red wine that I'm drinking will become a prize. Do you know what? That's a great idea. A nice vintage red coming out for somebody. That'd be nice for somebody, wouldn't it?
Fresh bottle, Dave, not the one you're supping there.
No, this is vintage, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Right, we now go on to the game at London. I have to say, you could have given this to any of the forwards at Wigan. We went 3 for Thompson, 61 minutes. Both sides of the ball, absolutely outstanding. The Goldthorpe went Dupree, no issue with that. And Man of Steel went Mago. Again, no issue with that. All 3.
Mago was awesome.
Yeah. Really awesome. Tough. All of them were outstanding. 2 points from Super League Raw went to Dupree. 2 for Albert Goldthorpe went to Thompson. And here's an odd one. Man of Steel, Ferrimond. Nah. No? Don't know where that was. Unbelievable. And then the 1 point, we went Harvey Hill. The Man of Steel went Harvey Hill. And the Albert Goldthorpe went Hampshire. Ryan Hampshire.
They've been all right this week, to be fair. They've not been too bad. That was a shock.
There's been a couple of bad ones.
I thought, for me, Harvey Hill he could have been 2 points.
Yeah,
I thought he had a great game.
He did, mate. But I think for me, the 61 minutes Thompson did, both sides of the ball was outstanding. And then finally, Catalan against Hull FC. We went Julien Busquet. We like props at Super League Raw. Busquet was the best forward on the field by a country mile, coming up against a really, SASA had a good game. So too did Ashworth. I thought he was critical on the day in those conditions. 3 for Garcia and 3 for Garcia, the Man of Steel, and Albert Goldthorpe.
I think we said in the podcast that Garcia was immense as well.
Well, Karsten was there and he said Hampshire did nothing. So there you go. Craig Rigby, another Wigan fan, he's saying that Young Hill was outstanding. Do you know what, Craig? Last year, I was really impressed with Junior Nzemba. We give a lot of raps for Junior Nzemba, who looked to be, and he still is, an incredible prospect. But I'll tell you what, Harvey Hill really did go up in the pecking order in terms of my head this weekend.
Next NRL from Wigan.
Really good. Right, 2 points. We went 2 for Johnston. Johnston, we might not have scored, but the amount of times he put Catalan on the front foot was unbelievable in that game. I'll come to that one last. 2 for Danny Houghton for Man of Steel. Right, and get ready. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure you talked about brown envelopes earlier on. Something's going on with the Goldthorpe. 2 for Theo Farge. I mean, even the commentators were saying he was ineffective.
No,
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
I think they might have misspelt Morg.
Well,
that's terrible.
Morg did get a point in the Man of Steel. New Brown got 1 point in the Goldthorpe. And I tell you, we give the 1.2. I thought he was brilliant. A lot of question marks after his first game for Hull FC. I thought SASA, with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, he had a good game. He had a solid game.
Double homework.
He did well. He did well out of that, didn't he? So there you go. Our usual little trip around the point scoring. It's always a good bit of banter. Yet again, some interesting decisions there. Right, this is the time of the week where the two Gregs sorry, but Greg, your namesake as well, Mr. Roach, he does love a little bit of Team of the Week. He loves it. He does.
Here we go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, have your vino. Here comes the round 4 Team of the Week. It's a good one. Here we go. Our Team of the Week is proudly sponsored by the Good Estate Agent. Join the Rugby League community in trusting Stefan and his team when you are buying, letting, or selling property.
It's the Super League Pro Team of the Week for round number 4 with the Good Estate Agent for 2024. Here we go again. And at fullback for the second week running is Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves, who keeps on running week on week with the highest meters in the round. And what about the line busting? Oh yes, 15 of those. Sensational on the wing is Sam Holtall of the Huddersfield Giants. Good things come to those who wait. And on this form, Elliot Wallace may have to wait to return to the side due to Sam's awesome individual performance. At centre is once again Nene McDonald, who got into the Saint at the totally wicked stadium on Friday, put it to bed, 44 years of hurt. Is he one of the most devastating centres in the comp? We think so. It always feels like somebody's watching Tim. Oh yeah, we're watching Tim look 5. What a game against the Saint. That offload to Dion Croft. I don't think I've seen anything more beautiful since Ursula Randres came out to sea in a white bikini. On the wing is Ryan Hall, who in defeat against Warrington moved 1 try closer to the record. The older he gets, the better he gets. If he was a bottle of red wine, his vintage would be priceless. At 6, Lee Leopard's fan, look away now, it's Brodie Croft. He didn't get a yellow against Gareth O'Brien, but Gareth O'Brien got a yellow against him. His 2 try assists were pivotal in this. Brodie Croft back to his best, he's jinking best. Outstanding performance, he's our stand-up. At 7 for the 3rd week in a row is Mark Sneed. His leadership and drive were reminiscent of Churchill himself. His half-time speech was inspiring. We shall fight on to the end. We shall fight down the middle and the edges. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. With bombs in the air, we shall defend our try line, whatever it may cost. We shall fight in the scrums. We shall fight in our 20. We will defeat them in their 20. We will be victorious and we will not surrender. Mark Sneed, go on, son. At 8 is Luke Thompson, who played one of the most complete prop forward performances you're likely to see. Bruising in defence, colossal in attack, and a V8 engine that revved for 61 minutes. Quality. At 9 will be Brad O'Neill, who provided a calming reassurance down the middle. Not the best week, but number 9's in the comp, it has to be said. That opened the door for O'Neill. Will he be a one-hit wonder, or will he be back for more in 2024? We'll see. At 10 is Julien Busquet, who left the screams for penalties in the dressing room this week and conserved all his energy for brutal driving runs that swung the balance of power in the Dragons' favour. In second row will be his teammate Mike McMeekin, who hit the ground running with an exceptional clean break in the opening set for Jaden Nikarima to cut loose the simply no meat in Mike McMeekin. At 12 is Reece Martin. Just like Reese's peanut butter cups, Martin's performance was an acquired taste. If you were a leopard, you could say they had an allergy to his ingredients. A beautiful try, pinpoint kick and an aftertaste that the Beta Rovers despised. And finally at 13 is Leroy Cudjoe. His performance was like watching James Bond himself stroll into a casino. He played the winning hand, he cashed in his chip and he walked away with far more than Sylvia Trench. What a man of the match performance this was, and 2 points for the Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Team of the Week for round number 4.
There it is, the Team of the Week for round number 4. It's in the record books. That's the way we see it this week. Greg's having a little chuckle. Go on, Greg, over to you, sir.
You slaughtered me with Sylvia Trench.
Oh, dear Lord. You've got to love it, haven't you? You can't beat a little bit of Team of the Week. They're all coming in. They're all coming in. Brilliant, guys. We are not worthy. Oh, laughing aloud with Leroy and Lafire as Greg Roach. He's absolutely loving it. Super Matt Duffy. Can't argue with the team of that Team of the Week from Freddie McGilvray. Oh, it's all going off. It's all going off. But no, that's the Team of the Week. And for me, you know, yeah, I mean, you could argue. I think some of the more difficult decisions this week probably were in the halfbacks. Great performances from the halfbacks this week. You know, Mikey Lewis, George Williams, Lola Hare played well when he came on for Huddersfield, and probably missing some. Lewis Dodd had a good weekend as well. Difficult in halfbacks.
Fitzgibbon in the second row, mate. He was unlucky to miss out.
Yeah, second row as well. Yeah, Fitzgibbon, he was absolutely in there. You know, in the thought process as well. Very difficult, always is, and that again, it's great for the comp when it's difficult to pick a Team of the Week. How does that compare with the official Team of the Week? Well, pretty similar. Adam Swift, Joel, getting in over Halsall. Who did you see as the better winger? Swifty or Halsall?
I feel like Halsall had more opportunities to show off a little bit more.
Yeah.
Swifty were doing it tough because they were targeting Swifty a little bit because they know what he's about, whereas Halsall's more of an unknown quantity, so he had a bit more freedom.
Fair enough. Adam Kieran, gents, and I think that's very, very. It was London. Yes, he kicked 10 goals. He missed a couple. Yes, he scored an easy try at the end. But do we really think that Adam Kieran should be keeping out Nene McDonald this week, Greg?
No, in a word.
Fair play. I'll leave it there. Ash Hanley, you were there. Steph, Ash Hanley or Ryan Hall, based on the performance, would you say?
I'd have Ryan Hall. I think there's, like I say, Hanley's. I've been his biggest fan this season. Said how good he's been and stuff like that. But Ryan Hall was good against Warrington. Did we have subs last week?
No subs. We had subs in the team of the month, mate. Team of the month. Harvey Hill got the nod at 10. Yeah. I've not really got an awful. I think you could have picked any of those Wigan forwards, quite frankly. But Thompson over Hill. Do you think we were right on that one?
I think you can give it a shout for either of them, to be honest.
Fair play.
Greg, Thompson was up against a tougher team.
Yeah. So. And your shout, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, in the official one. And I have to say, Fitzgibbon was in the thinking process.
I thought he was superb. He's running the channels and he's offloading. Absolute class.
Yeah, he's
another Trent Waterhouse, that guy.
My shout with Harvey Hill as well, which is good to see on there.
Right, okay, that's it. That's round 4, done and dusty. We're now going to move on. Let's get a little word from our sponsors as we now go into predicting what's about to happen down the pipe in round number 5. Here we go.
He's target 5. Here comes love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
So thanks as always to our sponsors, Rugby League 3/4. If you like a bet on Super League and you want to be around like-minded people, get yourself over to their Facebook page. They'll be telling you where the value in the market is. And as they always say, gamble responsibly. All right, Prediction League. Oh, who's that at the top? Interesting.
That's a surprise.
A great week for me. Great week. Really good week for me, has to be said. I got 3 on the nose and I've got 2 right teams as well. Text me above Mr. Schofield. Joel now on his own in 3rd. Then it's Greg and Steph, 59. A shocker for the fans forum last week, picking up only 9 points on the week. That is how the Prediction League stands after round number 4. Right, let's get into the games that are on the way. These are the fixtures for round number 5. The Salford Red Devils, the in-form Salford Red Devils going up against the Wigan Warriors. Then it's the Rhinos against the Saints. The Giants take on Hull KR. Hull FC will entertain the Lee Leopards. The Catalan Dragons, they will host the Castleford Tigers. And finally, on Sunday, the London Broncos welcome the Warrington Wolves. That's how the fixtures go. Right, chaps, straight to the Thursday night game. Here we go. Salford taking on Wigan, last year's champions, against the ones who just missed out on the playoffs. Round 6 last year, it was the reverse fixture. This was at the DW 2016 to Wigan, a close game. In round 16, 26-6 Wigan won at the Salford Community Stadium. And then they played again at the DW in round 24. Again, Wigan winning 26-8. Like Saints last week, Salford don't have a good record against Wigan. Could they do it 2 weeks in a row? 6th against first. The bookies, well, they don't think so. But actually quite tight odds. 1-3 Wigan, as opposed to 5-2 if you are the Salford Red Devils. As you can see, 3 wins in a row, taking on 3 wins. Wigan still top, of course. And it had to be. I think this battle on this edge, Nene McDonald, Jake Wardle. Jake Wardle last year, of course, winning the Harry Sunderland at the grand final. I think all of us have got great respect for Jake Wardle. Him against Nene McDonald, chaps, should be a brilliant contest on the night. Before I bring you in and to get your thoughts on this game, let's just quickly bring you up to speed with a bit of news from both teams. Ollie Partington, he will not be back for this one. Ethan Ryan, Adam Sidlow are closing in on returns, but are not expected to be back for this one. Joe Mellor also out. Brad Singleton and Chris Hankinson also drop out. Hankinson's been in great form. David Nofaluma, he is in the squad. The big man could make his debut. As far as Wigan are concerned, Mike Cooper, of course, out. Liam Byrne returns. Great news for Wigan that. Lehman's still out. Walter's still out. Essa still out, and Ethan Havard still out. I will start with you, Steph, because you're top left. We'll do as we usually do. Salford, Wigan. Can they do it again, Salford?
No.
Thanks for coming.
I think it's probably one game a bit too far for Salford. This one, I think the emotion of beating St Helens away will take a bit out of them. I think they put a lot of effort into that one. Wigan had probably the easier game against London, rested a few players. Smith and French are going to probably come back into this one. I think it's going to be close. I think Salford, they'll give them a real good go there. But I've got it as Wigan 1-8, so quite close, where some people might be a bit more.
I think Paul Rowley had set that. I think it seems if it's 1-8 with 20 to go, I think Paul will be quite happy with that, wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, I had it pretty close in Wigan's favour. But yeah, with the returnees and potential returnees for Wigan, I think it will just be that bit too much. But I think Salford, out of anybody, is going to be the club to run them close. That's for sure. Yeah,
this is going to be interesting. You went 9-17, Joe, on this one.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I think that's still quite respectable for Salford, though.
Yeah, I mean, Wigan's got depth, haven't they? Let's be absolutely clear on that. And Paul Rowley continues in his press conferences to play down his team's chances. As I had to say, I did smile though at his press conference after the Saints game, because there was a little wry, cheeky grin on his face throughout.
He was loving it.
He was, wasn't he? Greg, mate. I mean, if Nofaluma does come in, and it probably will with Hankinson not being there, this, for Salford Red Devils fans, could be quite exciting. I think that three-quarter line, Cross on the left is, let's be fair, go and wear some glass slippers, son. You've got Tim Lafay on your inside. Good lad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Stealing a living, Mr. Cross. Stealing a living. And then you've got Nene McDonald and Nofaluma on the other side. That, if they can keep that fit, it ranks up there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's where their biggest threat will come from throughout the season, if they can stay fit. They've got a lot of injuries. I think Salford, a lot of players out. I think the fact that Wigan rested players at the weekend, I think that will play in their favour. And I've gone for Wigan 9-17.
You've gone Wigan 9-17 as well.
I think the emotion of that game, I think it'll take them out of Salford. I think, as Steph said, the emotion of that win and the way it was achieved, I think is just, if they had London this week, I think they would have, they would have made it back to back, but not Wigan, not after resting players. And confidence is sky high. They put 60 past the team with some half decent players rested. The confidence that Wigan will be sky high.
Do you know what? We didn't mention this when we looked at that match review panel piece, but credit to Jack Ormonroyd on that Percival challenge. Shot to his feet, fair play.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're used to in rugby league.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We forgot to give him a rap for that. And
no Kate Cust as well is a big shout.
Cust out as well. Sorry, I missed Cust. You're right, Cust. He's going to be out because of HIA. You're spot on, my friend. Gary Schofield, he's gone Wigan 18+, as has the fans for him. I'm going 9-17 Wigan, which won't worry Paul Rowley or his charges, because I had him 11th I had him 10th this season, and they're making a mockery of that. So they are, Paul. We've done your team talk for you. Put Super League Raw on for 10 minutes before they go out on the weekend, and I'm sure that'll give him the extra bit of petrol in the tank. Hopefully Paul's watching this evening and his charges. Right, okay. We then move over to what arguably will be game of the week. Here it is. Yeah, game of the week this week, Saints against going to Leeds. Before we do that, though, apologies to the fans in the chat. Let's get in there over that last game before we move on. Apologies. Shocking effort from me. Yellow card, Dave, yellow card. Alex Sharp, 18+ to Wigan. Freddie McGilvey, 9-17. Callum Calver. Steph, are you coming to Hull on Saturday?
Potentially.
Potentially. Well, let Callum know. He'll buy you a pint. Carsten Brune, Pieters by 12. Don't say Pieters. Don't say Pieters. Our friend Mr. Rigby doesn't like that. Dawn Baker, she's going Wigan 9-17. Surprise, surprise. Silla's here. Wigan 18 by 18. Yeah, a lot of love. Nobody giving Salford a prayer in that one. So... Anyway, like I say, Super League Raw's done the team talk for Paul Rowley. Right, back to that game of the week. Leeds against Saints. They always deliver great games. Let's just hope we've not jinxed this one. We got it right last week. It was a belter last week between Warrington and OKR. Hopefully we've got it right again this week. Leeds Rhinos last year, round 3. Who can forget that? Who can forget that game at the Totally Wicked Stadium? Ash Hanley that night scored a special try, if you remember as well. 25 points to 24. Then round 13, Saints got their own back. That was the night that Lee played Warrington. Me and Greg got back and watched the whole game straight after. And it was a win for Saints, 13 points to 12 and a nail biter. And then round 20, again, back at Headingley, Saints winning 22 points to 18. Currently positioned second place, fifth, 6-4. The Rhinos 8-15 on the Saints. Both of these two teams coming in with 3 wins, 2 wins in a row against brilliant opposition. It's got to say for Leeds, you know, Catalan at home, then Lee away. 2 statement wins there without doubt. We picked out Brodie Croft, Johnny Lomax. I think Crofty's growing in a Leeds Rhino shirt. And, of course, Mr. Lomax is just a Rolls Royce of a player, let's be fair. Joel, coming to you. But before we do, let's get into the players. Andy Ackers is a concern, suffering a shin injury in that game against Leeds. David Foster-Tua out. Of course, there'll be no Durrell Alferts now. Morgan Gannon, 3 months it's been confirmed for Gannon. But good news for them. James Bentley does return from suspension. Sam Lazzone still got a match to go. As for Saints, Matty Lees and Joe Batchelor are expected to return this week into this game. Still no Parza. Percival out for 1 game. But Conrad Hubble returns from his suspension and will probably replace Percival. So, Joel, Leeds Saints should be a mouthwaterer. Go for it. Yep. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he took words out of my mouth there. I was going to say it is literally his mouthwatering. That's the kind of fixtures you really look forward to. We all know for sure Saints are going to be smarting after last week, so they're going to be coming out firing. There's going to be no big mistakes from them. That's for sure. They're going to make sure of that. Paul Owens won't let that happen. But we also have to realise that Leeds are on a bit of an ascendancy. So they're doing well. So it's going to be a close one. I believe I've went for Saints on this. I can't remember what I've...
Well, you did. You went Saints 1-8. Unlike Uncle Freddie, proud Super League Raw member there. He sees it the Rhinos 1-8. You'll be having an arm wrestle when you see him this weekend. Freddie McGill going the way of the Rhinos. Greg, your thoughts on this? Again, should be a belt to this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. One of the games of the season always is. I can't see Saints losing 2 on the bounce. Saints will be hurting, especially the nature of the defeat. They're bringing some fresh players in. I'm going Saints 9-17.
9-17. The Saints, I mean, again, they will be smarting after that Salford game, and there's nothing worse than an injured Saints in terms of the pride stakes. And actually, can I get your view on this as well? Quickly going back to round 4, on in the sheds. I'll come round the screen on this. I pointed out after the Dodd try, the first Dodd try, the body language of Welsby and Dodd was wrong. If you watch after that try, they're high-tenning each other, they're all smiles. And in the same frame, Alex Walmsley is all business. Yes, he patted him on the back, but his face was stern. It's still game on. And in the next kickoff, Welsby lets the ball bounce. Salford get the ball, and they go in. They end up going in for a try. Paul Wellington, his post-match press conference, said there was only one team in it up until 20 minutes. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, did you see it? I mean, I just thought it was a bit arrogant, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think they thought they'd won it.
Yeah.
They put the cue on the rack, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, and on the night, there were no Alex Higgins. Over to you, what were your thoughts?
No disrespect to Saints, but they can be guilty of doing that, of turning up to games thinking they're going to win or thinking they've won games, and sometimes it does fight them on the backside. Thinking Wembley 2019, you know, they can be guilty of that sometimes, Saints.
Yeah. Alex Sharp there in the chat saying Helens are expected to set 1,200 fans, so should be a great atmosphere. Steph, your thoughts on that? Did you see it? What were your thoughts on Welsby and Doddy?
I mean, the greatest teams don't believe their own hype. And that's the thing for me. They just get on with the business. They deliver every week and they get it done. And I definitely think there was a bit of complacency there. Obviously, going down to 12 men never helps, but they're in a position where they're 20 points to 6 up. It's a bit like, you know, we said it with the league when you shouldn't be losing that kind of deficit, but you know the 12 men kind of helps it. But what I will say is that hungry dogs run faster.
Well, I'll give you a quote. We've already talked Winston Churchill already tonight. Here's one. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. So Winston once said, and there was one team who had the right attitude. That was the Salford Red Devils. Steph, I think, Greg, we've had your prediction on this, haven't we? Saints, Leeds?
Yeah, 9-17.
9-17. Steph, your prediction, mate?
Yeah, so like I say, hungry dogs run faster. I think Welland's going to get them really fired up for this one. I think it's going to be a real close game. Leeds are doing really well at the moment, but I think Saints might just edge it 1-8.
You're going 1-8. Well, Ryan Birch, he's going Leeds 1-8. A lot of love for Saints in the chat. Hello, Nicola again. Nicola Burtonwood. Great to see you, Nicola. Hopefully, again, new name that for the last couple of weeks. Great that Nicola's found us. I don't know if you've been with us before, Nick, but you know, great to have your comments. Keep them coming. She's gone Saints 1-8. Carsten, our friend over there on YouTube, he's going Saints by 24. I'm going Saints by 1-8. I'm hoping for another real nail biter. I really do. I just hope it's that close. I think it'd be fantastic. The fans form, they're going with Ryan. They're going Leeds 1-8, and no surprise, he's Gary Schofield. He's gone Leeds 9-17. Did anybody see that one?
Yeah, could be wrong. Strange things have happened.
Right, as we now move on, but before we do move on to the next one, it's only right and it's only appropriate that we put this little one on the screen. I hope you're not going to disappoint him. Greg Roach, please predict Hull KR by 1-8. Greg, you are a wire Nostradamus. Please, Joel, I love a photo celebrating your predictions, buddy. Of course, last week, if you remember, Saint backed Castleford against Huddersfield Giants, and at full time, Greg Roach and Joel got together for a wonderful selfie, and they mailed it personally airmail to Mr. Nixon. Greg, how did you find that photo?
I thought it was offensive and rude, to be honest.
Absolute genius.
I loved it.
Absolute genius. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen that photo, head over to the fans forum. The boys put it on there. I thought it was comedy gold.
Absolutely. Put me right back in your box, guys. Well done.
I have to say, Greg won the photo, and when we did the wheel last week, they said that you should use it as your predictions. Greg Roach is on fire. He's on absolute fire this season. Is Greg Roach. Right, let's get to this one then. Huddersfield entertaining Hull KR. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Last year, of course, Huddersfield finished 9th. KR finished, but they didn't finish 7th. Apologies for that. They finished 4th. Don't know where I was going with that one. Round 11, 28-0 at Craven Park. 18-26 in this fixture last year, going the way of KR. Current position 7th and 8th, right next door to each other in the table. Current odds 4-6. The Giants 13-10. So the Giants favourites for this one. Both coming in with 2 wins. Of course, 2 losses on the bounce now for KR. You've got to say play to watch Mikey Lewis. But Adam Clune, I mean, again, you know, we said he wasn't man of the match, but gentlemen, what a wonderful try from Mr. Clune. Wasn't it?
In the points, I think, in the goal flop one, was it?
Right, he was, yeah.
They see stuff like that, and that's why, you know, it was a brilliant try. Brilliant try, Clune.
It was.
Joel, what was your take on that try, Joel?
Well, it was funny because I actually had to ask Greg during the game. I said, "Did Clooney kick that?" Because I was that shocked that he'd done that kind of play. Because Clooney is very well known for more what he does off the ball than he does on the ball, which you guys may not see much of. But when you're watching him week in, week out, you really can see that he's very talkative with his players.
Well, all I'm going to say to you there, Joel, is your attention to detail is clearly very impressive. If you didn't know he kicked it, and you know, I found it quite interesting that in the same sentence, you then turn around and say, "Gents, you know, you might not notice, but Adam Clune, considering that you didn't notice he kicked the ball, I think that's a bit strong, mate. I really do. Remember the company you're in, sir. Come on."
I'll tell you what, Joel, you're getting some pelters tonight.
Well, I can take it up for you, mate. He gave you pelters, mate. I'm coming in on you, buddy. I am.
I can take it, yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Joel, do the Huddersfield fans call him Clooney? Clooney? Did they do that yet?
I think we pretty much do that to every player we have, I think.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
The Castleford players can't get into him.
But you know what? This is a really interesting game for both teams, gents. KR, they'll be upset after last week. I mean, 2 defeats now on the bounce of Salford and Warrington. Huddersfield needed that last week, and it was a convincing win. And, when the advantage when you have a win like that, it does help combinations. It does help, when you've got the ball. Don't get me wrong, Castleford, let's not forget, Castleford, just after half-time, are right in that game before, quite frankly, Castleford down tools, and that's another story. But, Huddersfield scored some very nice tries. The Clune effect, he looked a lot more comfortable in the game. So this is an interesting game. It really is. If Huddersfield could go and win this, it's just joy for the Cowbell Army. And for the Robins, well, to have 3 defeats in a row after all the hullabaloo of the signings and the rest. Remember, I put him 7th this season. Oh dear, it could be interesting. Elliot Wallace, probably not going to be in this one. Also, will remain on the wing, we expect. Matty English returns from his HIA. Adam Milner returns from his suspension, is my understanding. And the Robins have no injury concerns, so it's a fully fit Robins going to come to the John Smith Stadium. Joel will bring you in last. So we'll start with Steph on this one. Again, we've talked about Leeds Saints, Steph. Great game. Salford Wigan, great game. This is another great game, isn't it, this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, two sides are going to go head-to-head here, but on a really good track at the John Smiths. And I think Joel's comment earlier is very relevant here, because Hull KR, they played on that, it's a bog base, it's potato field, I think I called it, whereas I think they're a dry track team, whereas Huddersfield went away to Castleford and played on their pitch this week. So I think it's a big factor in this game. And I think the players that Hull KR have got, they really suit a really fast pitch. So that's why. And I'm sorry, Joel, Freddie, Greg Roach, all my really good friends, but I'm going for KR 9-17 here.
Well, Freddie McGilvey sees it close. There's Uncle Freddie, again, a member. That's why Freddie's coming up on the screen quite a lot. 1-8. Kobe, our newest member after tonight, he's heading over to Patreon later and joining up. He's going the Giants 24. That's a big win. Giants by 24. Wow. Ryan Birch, he's going Giants 1-8. Karsten, he's going KR by 8. And Greg Roach, he's saying, seriously, guys, a significant game for both teams early in the season. Alex Sharp, our newest member, 9-17, Hull KR. Greg, your thoughts on this again? Belting game.
It is, and yeah, and I've gone KR 90-110.
I'm happy you predicting that.
Greg's opened the champagne, Greg Roach.
You're all made up with that one.
He's just
turned
up at our house with a crate.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I haven't, in case you thought I was being serious. Go back on planet Earth. I think, this is a very, very important win for either team. But I'm sorry. Sorry, Greg and Joel. I've gone Giants 9-17.
Wow.
That's going to be a 50-0.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Greg. Yeah, Mr.
Never mind, Joel. Never mind.
Joel.
No, let me explain.
It's good that it lasted.
KR's confidence is shot. They haven't got a goal kicker. They've got a few players out, and I think Huddersfield's confidence after last week, again, a bit
KR fully fit, mate. KR fully fit.
I thought they had a couple out still.
No, fully fit.
Still, I think the confidence will be shot. I think they haven't got a kicker as well. So you often find with teams that haven't got a kicker, they bomb tries because they want to try and score as close to sticks as possible, where the easy option might be out wide. I know, I've seen a lot of teams do that over the years, haven't got a recognised kicker, bomb tries out wide because they're too concerned about getting it nearer to the post. I think Giants will win it 9-17.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Right, Joel, your side. Go on, Joel. Big game this. Should be a belter. Great players on the field of play. Let's hope that the flair players turn up. Again, the three-quarter battle should be riveting. I think both sides have got really good 3-quarter lines, quality in the halves. It should be close. Go on, Joe. What's your thoughts?
So my prediction, I actually went for Hull to win by this, by a close one. I've just got a feeling, and it's what Steph said, that I agree with. Hull suit a fast pitch, and we've got to admit that we do have a really good pitch. And the drainage is unbelievable, so it can be belting it down. It'll still be a quick pitch. So Michael Lewis is going to have a field day, and we've still not got a fully fit team yet. Got to remember that we've not got a full fit team.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're just going to pip us at the end, but it is going to be close.
So you're going 1-8 again, and as a neutral, mate, I'd set that because one thing's for certain. I think there's going to be scoring in this game, so it's a 1-8. We're in for an absolute treat. We really are. I've gone KR 1-8. I've gone KR. I think they'll be bruised. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was 1-8 the other way. Gary Schofield, he's on Huddersfield 9-17, as has the fans for him. So a lot of love for Huddersfield, a lot of love for Huddersfield, just not off their own supporter Joe, which is quite interesting, really.
You're going to call it straight, aren't you?
Mate, we always call it straight on Super League Raw. Always. That's the way. That's the way we roll.
Our betting partner, based on Reggie's one, has just said lump on LKR.
Right. For those
I'm going to turn on myself.
Just a quick recap for anybody who has joined us late. We keep talking about the Super League Raw membership. It is the more members we get, the more we're going to give back. It's as simple as that. We need your support to keep making these shows bigger and better. The way you can join right after the show for as little as $2.99 for all of this entertainment on a Tuesday, all the shows we do, go to Patreon, League Raw. If you weren't here earlier on, the latest competition, exclusive for members, 2 tickets to the Challenge Cup final on June the 8th. Member-only competition, a random draw coming the weekend of the semi-final. You don't not want to be in that one, so get yourself over. Even if it's just a contribution of £2.99 to help us on our way, it would be really well received. Right, gents, a little announcement before we do the last 3 games. Would you like to know who the next In Conversation is going to be with?
Yes, let's.
Here we go. So, yes, it's Oliver Partington of Salford Red Devils. A lot of talk about him maybe going to Warrington. He talks about that. Also, he talks about his hopes for this season, the new signings at Salford, his take on the losses that Salford have incurred, Paul Rowley, Sean Wayne, Adrian Lamb. He talks about all of his coaches over his career. Do you know what? It was a really good chat that we had with Ollie Partington this morning. Members, be at the ready. The members will have Oliver Partington in conversation from tomorrow. That's what the members get. They get it from tomorrow for a whole week. It will go live. Well, it will be premiered on YouTube for non-members a week tomorrow. So for a week, you can watch it in advance. But Ollie Partington, make sure you tune into that. More announcements, or we've got some really good In Conversations on the way. More on that as the weeks pass. Right, now we get into the next game, and it can only be, of course, the big one, if you're Steph Sale on Saturday, Hull FC taking on the Lee Leopards. This is a big game as well. It really is, no doubt about it. I don't know, last year, 10th, of course, against 5th. Look at that this year, 10th against 9th. Wow. Last season, Lee did the double, 24-16 at the MKM, and at the Lee Sports Village, it was 28-16, a bit better. The current match odds, they see Hull FC as favourite. Who'd have thought that? A couple of weeks ago, 6-5, the Lee Leopards. Lee, 3 losses. You just wouldn't have had that at the start of the season. A mixed bag there for Hull. New Brown, I thought, again, looked to be steadily improving at Catalan. Matt Moylan, no doubt about it. He seems to be improving week on week. And again, you talk about, the Lee Sports Village pitch is good, but I think the MKM's is slightly better, so he'll probably enjoy that one. Right, before we go around the screen, Greg, I'm going to start with you in a moment, mate. On this one, we'll go to Steph last. Jack Brown, Liam Sutcliffe back from suspension, so a bit of good news for Hull FC coming into this one. Of course, no Matty Russell. They will have Joe Bullock. Jack Walker, guys, what a blow for Hull FC. The form that Walker's been in, and it's been confirmed it's going to be about 4 to 6 weeks. That's a hammer blow for Hull FC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huge.
Major.
Yeah.
Good news though, Danny Houghton come off with a tight hamstring. He's going to be in the 21-man squad. He's expected to play. That's a result if you're a Hull FC fan. Brad Fash still out. Joe Cater's still out. Liam Tyndall, Jake Truman. Oh, it's just a list as long as your arm, isn't it? Unbelievable, really. Of course, now also another big blow. Ashworth. Ashworth's been in great form. Great form for them. And also Franklin Pelly has been announced that he's going to miss. He's had an operation during his suspension, and he's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well. So there's definitely good news for Steph. We'll get to him last in terms of this is a depleted Hull FC. If ever a depleted Lee was going to go to a depleted Hull, this is the time, isn't it? As for Lee,
they're both depleted,
both depleted, 100%. But let's not sugarcoat this, Greg. 3 dream teamers out: Lamb, Asiata, and Edwin Ipape. Massive holes. We know how good they were. But of course, a new superstar has been unleashed last week with Mr. Hanley on the wing. Outstanding stuff there. Greg, again, for all the wrong reasons probably, in the fact that because they have so many injured, this is a lottery. And it should be a really interesting game, mate.
It is. I reckon it's one of those games that you look at and you think, I'm not so sure, and it turns into a classic. I think Hull played really, really well. I think they played the best they played all season against Catalan last week. Lee, it's a big blow losing Lamb. They've had some big players out this season, and it's Lee's turn to benefit from my genius predictions this week.
Jesus, no.
Lee 60 to 80.
Where are you going, Lee?
No, Hull. I've gone Hull 1 to 8.
Another tight one.
As we speak.
Another tight one, right? And again, I hope you're right. I love these. Do you know what? It's a great job, lads. Just for a minute, how good's Rugby League? How good is Rugby League? It's just outstanding, isn't it? Oh, roll on the weekend. Oh, dear me. Joel, go on, mate. Your take on this one?
Yeah, I've got a Lee win because I think they're still too strong for Hull, regardless of who's out. And it's a good thing that Franklin Pelly is not playing. I think he's been more of a hindrance than a help to Hull. So
after one game, isn't
it? You could just tell. You can just tell the way his whole demeanour. Just I'm not a fan. But I think Lee's going to be hurting from in the position that they're in right now, and I don't see him being in that position at the end of the season. That's for certain. But I think it's going to be a close one. But Lee'll win.
Well, Greg Roach again giving us a plug. Greg, thanks, mate. Really appreciate your support, Mr. Roach. Outstanding stuff. Freddie McGilvey's gone Lee 1 to 8. Kev Worrell, Lee, he's gone by 10. Ryan Birch is going Lee 1 to 8. And Karsten, who's Derek? Karsten said Derek's red. Oh, Derek Beaumont. Oh, my apologies. Derek Beaumont's red wine. Go on then, Steph. Derek, been upset after the Leeds game. What do you make of that? And then talk about this one.
I think all the fans are upset about the last game, but you're always going to be upset when your team loses, aren't you? When you're on the benefit of decisions or whatever, you don't go out and celebrate, kind of thing. So you're always going to be a bit grumpy about it, kind of thing. So
we call it straight away, Steph. Joel said it. I've got a lot of love for Lee. Nicola Burton was there hoping it's Lee's first win of the season. Key players injured. She's going 1 to 8. I had a lot of love for Lee, still do. Last year, I thought you were absolutely brilliant. And you've won a lot of friends as well. But this is the second time Derek has come out and said something similar. I'd like it if he probably kept it behind closed doors, personally.
Yeah, but it's very easy to say when you're not putting millions of pounds into the sport.
Yeah, true.
I think he's made response to that one. We'd all love to be in that position, wouldn't we? Kind of thing. And I can understand this. I mean, I didn't want to go on to it, but I will do. Yeah. How Ackers hasn't got even cited by the match review panel for that is ridiculous. Given the focus on head injuries and stuff like that, you whack somewhere in the head. I mean,
yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right on that one.
Beyond belief. So if you want to understand why Derek's frustrated, that's why all Lee fans were frustrated this week. Is all I'll say, and that ends that one.
Before you go on to this game, Ryan Birch, join the Super League Raw community better than the sausage rolls at Salford, Greg. That's what Ryan said. Better than the sausage rolls at Salford.
The sausage rolls come a close second, but you're
right. They come a close second. Yeah, happy days. So Steph, go on, mate. So Hull FC, how do you see it, mate?
I think this has got the potential to be the game of the week for what Reggie said before. You know, it's that in the balance. There's that many players injured. You know, losing Lamb for us is massive. But the good news on that one is it looked like he was going to be out for the season when he was limping off. It's going to be 2 weeks by the sound of it because it's a cut to his leg rather than a knee injury or whatever. So that's the most positive thing.
It's good news for the league as well, that mate. We need
it's fantastic. You know, we're doing it tough. We're doing it really tough at the moment, and you know that you can't have the season we had last season without expecting to do that again back to back. But Hull FC are doing it tough as well, and that's why I think it's got the potential to be an absolute classic. This one. You know, the biggest plus for us, Amaya Hanley from last week. Let's hope he can go and do what he can do and repeat that and become our Ash Hanley.
Just on that topic there on the screen, Steph, Mike Ward saying no Briscoe. Based on Hanley's performance, I presume you're quite comfortable?
I think it's an upgrade.
Fair play.
Of one game, and that's very, you know, again, very easy. You know, he's played one game, lad, but I think all the Lee fans were really impressed with how he took that, and I think more importantly how he spoke on after the game about his, you know, passion to play for that and respect for Lamb for picking him and all that kind of thing. So that was the most pleasing thing this season actually for me to see him come out like that. I think. In terms of the game, and sorry we are going on a bit here, but in terms of the game, I see it being very, very close. I've actually, for the first time, predicted Lee to lose this one. I've gone Hull 1-8.
Wow. Well, Nicola Burton would also giving Hanley his just desserts. Absolutely Hanley for me. Had the second one. Had he managed to have scored that second one, it'd have been even better than the first. And
well, we win that game. He scores 100%. That, we win the game.
100%. And you know, Steph said Matty Ashton-esque. I mean, he has, and I think that's something now that Briscoe hasn't got. So I think you're right. And you know, Alex Sharp, he's got in there. Hanley was super. If Ash didn't get the last ditch tackle, would have been game over. He's absolutely right. That was the game breaking moment. Hanley goes in, game over. Gary Schofield, he's gone Lee 1-8. I've gone Lee 1-8. Greg, to confirm, Hull FC 1-8. Joel is going Lee 9-17. Is that right, Joel?
Yeah.
Steph going FC 1-8. That stings. And the fans forum, Lee 9-17.
Wow.
So there you go. That's how they see it. Right. We now go to the last two games. The first one, oh dear me, this one. Oh dear God. Right. Second game last season. This in round 7 last year. It was, if you remember, it was a great game. This was the one where Jack Broadbent scored that beautiful try for Castleford Tigers, 22-18. To be fair, Castleford should have won that day. They were good value that night, Castleford Tigers. In the return game at the Jungle, that's the other way around, isn't it? 46-22, my apologies. 46-22, the way of the Dragons. Third against 11th this season. Current game odds 1-40. The Dragons, that's big.
40 to 1. 1-40. I've never seen odds that big.
That's massive. 12-1, the Castleford Tigers. Mickey Bacaloran back. Be good to see Mickey. Jacob Miller. And do you know what? Craig Lingard came out in his press conference. He got a lot of flack last year, Jacob Miller. But I have to say, Jacob Miller's not the problem at Castleford this year. I think Jacob Miller is really standing up. He's trying his best, him and Westerman. I thought the second try as well that Ennis Senior scored. Fair play to him. Really good try. Right, where we're going to start. We finished with Steph, didn't we? We'll start with Joel this time and go. We'll go around the other way. Right, Alrix Da Costa. He failed his HIA. He's out. Big blow for the comp. Jaden Nikarima out. Hamstring. That's a blow. That's a blow. I think this kid's class. That's a blow for the comp. Still no Takiaho. Manu Mao still out. Zenon out. But like I say, Mickey Mack is back. Big blow for Castleford. El Zakem, who's been really good in those first 3 rounds. He was out with a knee issue. He's after failing a fitness test. Him, Alex Mellor also out. Gary out. McShane could be back, they're saying, which is interesting. No Josh Griffin, no Josh Hodgson, and Liam Watts is still suspended for 1 more game. So McShane comes back, that'd be a bonus for Castleford. Joel, Cass going to Perpignan.
Yeah, it's just too much for him. It's going to be too much. I noticed in the first half of that game, I said it to Greg, Jacob Miller looked a bit lost in the first half. Yeah. And he wasn't talking to his teammates. And that's why they were out of sync. There was nobody taking lead, and he should be doing that. But when they came out in the second half, it was the total opposite. They played much better for a period because Jacob was screaming out to all lads. He was getting them all in the positions, and they were playing well. But then obviously they just tailed off because we were far too good for him. So for them to even have a hope of scoring at Catalan, they're going to have to. He's going to have to really, really step up this week, big time. But if we see a blowout, which I think there might be a potential of, it'll let us know what the team's about after what Lingard said.
So what way are you going, mate?
18 plus for Catalan.
Well, here's one for Ryan Birch. Catalan by 60, Greg. 60. I can't see that, can you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Andy and Sue tried. Go on.
There's a potential.
He might be out, but it opens the door for Artem Org to come back in, who I thought was superb when he came on Saturday. This is 18 plus all over for Cats, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
I just can't see any other result.
No, Steph.
I've been to Perpignan a few times over the years, and I've never seen a comedy store in Perpignan, but I think that's the only way that the Castleford players will be laughing this week. They're going to get an absolute good hiding.
So basically, any Castleford fan that's going to Perpignan, skip the game and go and take in the local culture. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, get to the beach. You're getting a good hiding this week, boys. Sorry.
Oh dear me. Oh, God bless our Castleford. Yeah, I mean, look, no surprise. Everybody, even Kobe McGilvey, our next member, is saying Catalan by 20. I keep going at you, Kobe, and Joel is finding it very funny. I'll keep banging that drum. But yeah,
cowbell.
The cowbell, yeah, absolutely, yeah, the cowbell.
Thank you.
So everybody going 18 plus, yeah, like you guys, I just can't see it going any other way. And then the final game on Sunday, bringing the curtain down on round number 5. Let's hope we've been fully entertained. I'm sure we will be. The London Broncos going up against the Warrington Wolves. Let's not forget the Broncos again. 55 minutes, 50 minutes in, they're still in that game against Wigan. Warrington cannot take this one for granted. Nobody, for me, can take. One thing that London are showing that at the moment Castleford aren't is a bit of heart and a bit of desire. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's the reality of the situation. London are playing for the full 80. They might not be getting the wins. They might not be getting the just desserts, but I'll tell you what, against Wigan, yeah, maybe they peaked it out at the end, but for 50 minutes against the World Club champions, to run them that close, you've got to give London some respect. Alex Walker back. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He had a very bit part cameo against Wigan. It'll be interesting to see him. I think he'll get more game time against Warrington. The usuals are out. No real good news as far as London concerned, albeit Reece Butterworth and Fenton Rogers remain there and will probably be a part of the 17-man squad. As for the Warrington Wolves, George Williams, I would not expect to see him. By all accounts, he aggravated his ankle again in that win at Hull KR. I would expect somebody else to be partnering Leon Hayes, based on the fact that Hayes is so young, possibly Ratchford for his experience, maybe. Greg, you mentioned Dufty. We'll probably talk about that. You'll probably talk about that when we come to you in a minute. No Josh Drinkwater, he's out for 4 weeks. No Roderick Ty, no Matty Nicholson in this one either. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who Warrington put in the half-backs. We don't expect to see George Williams. 1-20, Warrington against London. And you know what, I mean, I know it's at London, but that 1-40 for Catalan, we just seen a minute ago. Warrington are 1-20 against London. That says a lot about those odds for Castleford, doesn't it? It really, really does. Yet to win. The win will happen. It will happen at some point. London will win. There's no doubt about that. The question is, will it be this weekend? I'll come to Greg last, as it's Warrington. Steph, we'll start with you. Mike Eccles, he's London against Mr. Burgess's Wire. How do you see it?
Well, I don't know who's going to be herding the cattle in London this week, but this win's going to be massive for Warrington. 18 plus.
18 plus. Well, London, great team spirit. Well, you're spot on. Joel, how do you see it?
Yeah, of course, a Wire win, but up until I saw the score against how they played against Wigan, I thought, well, maybe it's not going to be a massive blowout. So I think I went 9-17 Wire.
You know, mate, you went 18 plus Wire, mate.
Oh, right, 18. Right, that's fine. But yeah, I don't see it being a major blowout though.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Joel, yet again, proving like the Adam Clue moment, his attention to detail is unsurpassed.
He's giving you pelters tonight, Joel.
You could say why are we going to?
I'm not seeing him for a couple of weeks. I'm safe. He'll have forgot by the time I see him.
He's brave when you walk into the King's Head in a couple of weeks.
I'll be there.
He'll be there. He'll be there. Greg, mate, Warrington. You've been happy. I mean, you know, we've all been laughing because the amount of times you brought this game up since the start of the season. So go on, mate. We're now there. London, Warrington.
Yeah, I got some pelters before the season started by saying this game defines what Warrington team we've got. I don't think we'll lose, although stranger things have happened, and Warrington are the gift that keep on giving to teams that can never win a game. But the extent of the victory and the performance will tell us what kind of a Warrington team we've got. That was the point I was making pre-season. Yes, I think we'll win. I'd love to see, if he's going to bring Ratchford in, I'd put him in the centre, put Wrench to the wing, Thewlis at full-back, and put Dufty in the halves with
Leon Hayes, mate.
Leon Hayes, yeah. I had a senile moment there.
I had a Joel moment.
Sharing the
it's late. I've not had any alcohol for 3 days. Come on,
Reggie. Do you think Wire will win another?
One thing's for certain, mate. The cat that gets the cream will win.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You're milking it now, guys. Come on, you're milking it.
100%. Hey, showing it. Hey, no, there's no black and white spots here, mate. Crack on.
Grass is always greener.
Grass is always greener. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
Sorry, am I in some bad...
Speaking of one.
I'm in some bad sketch here. It's like being in a flash show.
Anyway.
Stop milking it, Reggie. Stop milking it.
I've already had that one. You can't have that one.
Yeah. Come on, then. So you're going what? Wire 18 plus, Greg, yeah?
Oh, yeah. But again, like you say.
And it's no surprise. Everybody else has gone Wire 18 plus. There you can see it is a good point. Alex Sharp, our newest member, every game for London, Challenge Cup final, absolutely spot on. And they're going to win a lot of friends. They really are. So yeah, outstanding. Do you know what, guys? I've really enjoyed it. I don't know what it was. I just thought this is going to be a good night, this. And it's been a brilliant chat. I've got the Mickey out, my mate Joel. It's been wonderful.
I think it's because you gave Joel some beef.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. He's back in. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, mate. You made mincemeat of him. Hey, there you go. Happy days.
You could stick wages on it.
Let's just confirm the
Quite rare.
Let's just confirm. Right, okay, I get that off the chat. Sorry, apologies for this. Right, there you go. So that's how it goes. Everybody's going Wigan. Schofield and the fans form goal Leeds. Everybody else is going Saints. A 50-50 split. The Huddersfield KR game. And again, surprisingly, the League game, 2 going the way of FC, the rest of us going with Lee. Everybody's showing love for Catalan and for Warrington. That is how we see it. Another week has flown by on Super League Raw Weekly. Get in the membership, chance to go to the Challenge Cup on us and all the benefits that go with it as well. The quiz is coming in April, more prizes there. Your own podcast, be a part of the team talk, get involved on a Sunday night. You're going to be live on a Monday morning for people to listen about your views on the greatest game on earth. Super League Raw just keeps getting bigger and better. It's been absolutely fantastic. Steph, Joel, Greg, as always, couldn't do it without you. Great mates, great company. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. Who's going to say it?
You can't beat a bit of weekly.
You can't beat a bit of weekly. Right, we're going to go out with the usual top performers after 4 rounds. We will see you next week right here for more Super League Raw Weekly at 8 o'clock. Enjoy your Rugby League this weekend. Here are the top performers after 4 rounds.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
It's time to close the show with the top performers in Super League up to round number 4. Here they are, and leading the try-scoring chart is the very impressive Mr. Ash Hanley of the Leeds Rhinos with 7. The top try assister in Super League with fruit and ball in hand is Mark Sneed of Salford Red Devils with 6. Top meter maker is Ash Hanley of the Leeds Rhinos with 6.94, closely followed by Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves with 6.93. Speaking of Duffy, he's the top tackle buster in Super League with 33. The most clean breaks is shared with 5 apiece. Matty Ashton, Liam Marshall, Jack Wellsby, Innes Senior and Matt Duffy once again. The most offloads in Super League continues to be from Hakeem Maludi and Liggy Sow, both with 11. The hard meter maker in Super League after 4 rounds is Paul Vaughan of the Warrington Wolves with 541. Sharing the most tackles after 4 rounds is Jordan Lane of Hull FC and Lima Cudjoe of Huddersfield Giants, both with 170 tackles. And finally, the top goal kicker with a perfect 17 from 17 is Mark Sneed of the Salford Red Devils. They are your top performers after 4 rounds of the Betfred Super League.